It is a sad state of affairs tonight here on the mission and in the heart of Hollywood and Black Hollywood, especially with the passing of James Earl Jones.
Yeah, elder down.
93 years young.
Real pillar.
The man celebrated one of the few recipients of the EGOT status, meaning that he has a winner of an Emmy, a Golden Globe,
Grammy,
a Grammy, Emmy Award, Grammy Award, Oscar Award, as well as a Tony.
That's right.
Award. And he has actually been featured here on the mission these many years. We actually have dedicated a section of our website to the films of James Earl Jones that we have reviewed. You can go check that out at micheauxmission.com. What do you have to say, Vincent, of the legacy of one James Earl Jones?
I mean, I think even what you just said about we had to have a section of all of the films that we've reviewed that he's been a part of. He's been a part of so many. I mean, I can't say definitively, but I was thinking about it. I don't know if there's one actor who has been in more films that we've reviewed than James Earl Jones.
Yeah, well, I counted it. He actually has been in 7 films that we've reviewed so far.
Have we reviewed 8 films with the same actor in anything?
Not that I can think of.
You know, like this is someone who runs the gamut from Claudine to Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins. And just, you think about him in iconic films that don't fall under our purview. Obviously, Star Wars.
Yeah.
But you think about Field of Dreams or The Sandlot or James Earl Jones in that ridiculous / amazing wig in Conan the Barbarian. You know, just a real iconic figure in a time where I think that term iconic is used way too loosely. Like this is an actual iconic figure.
Yeah, he is. I push back a little bit on it to a degree. Not that he's not an icon. He is. But I think that he is someone who became an icon once he reached a certain age.
Okay.
Right? Because like when I think of the great icons of Black cinema, my male, my mind immediately goes to Sidney Poitier.
Of course.
It goes to Denzel Washington.
Absolutely.
You know, and like it goes to the two of them. And fairly recently, as I have been changed, to Harry Belafonte. Right?
Sure. I don't even know if he'd be iconic in film.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's fair. James Earl Jones, I think, as I actually sat down and like, you know, got over the awe and shock of like, oh my God, James Earl Jones, right? You know, and you know, you're always too young to go, but the man was 93.
Sure.
Definitely lived, you know, he lived a life.
I always say at some point you cross that Rubicon where people are going to be sad when you die, but no one is surprised anymore.
Right.
When you're a Black man, unfortunately.
That starts at 40.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
But as I was thinking about his career, right? It actually it actually stunned me. Can you name 5 movies?
Okay.
Where James Earl Jones is the lead?
5 that he's the lead.
Yeah.
Claudine, Great White Hope.
Okay.
So that's 2.
That's 2.
Which is not 5. Okay, Claudine, Great White Hope. Wow.
That's right. Right? Your mind maybe wants to say Bingo Long, but that's really an ensemble.
No, I would not have said Bingo Long. Because as you point out, he's not the lead at all.
He's not the lead. Billy D is definitively the lead. And if you want to be, real, it's an ensemble.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's not even really the lead. And you say Claudine, but he really is like.
The name of the movie is Claudine.
It's Claudine.
It's not Rupert the Trash Man who has abandoned his children.
Right.
Which was a working title.
Yes. Yeah. So that surprised me to a degree. So, because I was like, wow, he really gets relegated to kind of like character actor status real quickly. Now, to be fair,
but still has somehow become. Like, I think this is a very interesting detail that you're bringing up.
Because there is also the point that he does make his mark on Broadway and on stage.
Yes, which certainly we have to.
And that's, as many bones as he made on movies, he made probably more bones on stage.
Look, over the past 2 days, the clip that I've watched the most is the "Why Don't You Like Me" monologue from Fences.
Yeah.
So yeah,
which a lot of people may not realize he was in the original production of Fences. So he makes his bones on stage, and he did a fair amount of television over the years as well. Sure, but it was like I was like, why didn't he really maximize being that lead, especially coming off of, like you said, The Great White Hope, and showing out in Claudine, and that's when you look into a little bit more of his backstory, and he's come a little sketchy out of his mouth a couple of times about some things.
Look, we're gonna stick to the art.
We can stick to the art, but I think we owe it to people to truly get the full measure of the man. You know what I mean? Don't you?
I think that gets really tricky really fast.
Okay.
With these artists.
Okay.
And certainly one of the things that I've tried to lean on as we've gone forward and is that I like to, because especially these old dudes, it doesn't take much to find them saying something real crazy.
Yeah, but
or rather saying something that doesn't age well.
Okay, but
and if it's not something that and I don't even know which part of his personality, do you think that affected his career, whatever it is you're alluding to?
Well, I think it did. I think fairly early in his career, I think it was like in the mid 60s, where you might want to say, well, it was the mid 60s. The man was about in his 30s, so he wasn't a young man, a young buck. He came out of his mouth a little bit about black women.
Oh, that didn't affect his career at all.
Oh, I think it did.
If hating black women affected somebody's career, 90% of these dudes would not have careers.
Being as vocal about it.
Yes.
I don't know. I think
okay, millennial online person. I know that upsets some people today who are like 30, but there's absolutely no way whatsoever anything that he said about black women affected his career.
Oh, I disagree. I think that
how?
Because what you see is someone whose career did not advance as much as one of his talent you might think would.
Okay, look, and I really don't want to. Neither Sidney Poitier nor Harry Belafonte were great lovers of the sisters, vocally. And there's Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte. Again, if you go down the line with these, you are hard pressed to find any of these black men today.
But you're saying that Sidney and Harry weren't great lovers of the sisters vocally.
Yes.
Meaning that you say.
Yes. Public statements like you're talking about that interview he did with his wife that everybody been running up and down the timeline. And I'm saying, yes, personally, he said some wax up. What I'm pushing back on is that somehow that affected his career. Because talking bad about black women never affects anyone's career. And my proof is black men's careers. Like, that's my proof. Black men's careers.
Okay.
Like, you know, again, especially you talk about these old dudes. Like, none of them, again, were the great lovers of black womanhood. Which is why it's best if we just sort of, you know, kind of stick with the talent.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I'm just talking about the man's movies. Because, I mean, am I wrong? Like, am I, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I off the top of my head, I can't remember any public statements that came out from about Sydney or Harry.
Eartha Kitt has been quite vocal. Diane Carroll has been quite vocal.
Yes.
People, they've been quite vocal about these men. You know, again, what the hell are you talking about right now? Like somehow black women, like somebody gives a shit about black women. When did this happen? When was this great utopian moment where these white men in these boardrooms said, well, I don't really like the
I'm not saying
that they've made about black women.
I'm not saying that history in general has not been.
No, not history in general. History, period.
Yes, history, period. I'm not saying that history has been kind to black women. I'm not saying that.
No. I'm not talking about history being kind. I'm saying that as a black celebrity, a black creative.
Yes.
I'm going to open up the menu now. You can choose your art form. That a black man being vocally engaging in misogynoir and just generally talking slick has affected their career. Certainly not during James Earl Jones's moment, and arguably at this exact second.
Okay.
Chris Brown can come in here and buy and sell me and you right now. He come in here and buy this whole studio, shut this whole building down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like Darth Vader, though.
I like him as Darth Vader as well.
Yes.
I like him as Darth Vader. I enjoy him. I read a very charming story about how he did a guest spot on the Garfield cartoon show.
Sure, why not?
And actually asked that he get paid the same as everybody else.
Look at that.
You know, and this was in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, where he certainly could have gotten like 10 times as much.
Yeah.
So,
having said that, I don't think it's unfair to judge somebody by what they say. Like, if you said it, you said it. And you know, certainly I do think some of the critiques that have emerged are look, you said stuff, you did stuff. I think it's a lot of people, and dare I say a lot of black men that have gone on record with some things that, you know, heaven forbid if something happens, because again, once you get past 40, people are sad, but nobody's surprised. That people are going to say, yeah, I remember back in 1995 when you said fill in the blank, this, that, and the other, and look, hey.
Yeah, well.
Hey.
I don't know. But look, I'm sad that
I really enjoyed that wig he had on in Conan
the Barbarian.
And he kind of pulled that off.
What are your three favorite James Earl Jones
movies?
Yeah.
Claudine.
Let's end here.
The Sandlot.
Okay.
Bingo Long.
Okay. Interesting. I would say, in no order, I would say Conan the Barbarian.
He's fantastic.
He is absolutely fantastic in Conan the Barbarian. I would say The Sandlot.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to say he is good in Bingo Long, but I don't want to go Bingo Long. I think
he's really good in The Great White Hope, a film that we're overdue.
Yeah, and I've seen it, but it's been a minute since I've seen it, because I was going to say Great White Hope, but it's been a minute since I've seen it, and I want to be fair. But I'll say Great White Hope, because I remember really enjoying that movie. So yeah, I'll say they're my three favorite. The only reason I'm not picking one of the Star Wars films is because it's really just his voice.
Right. Although if you've ever seen the footage with and I forget the guy's name who's actually in the costume. It completely changes everything. Like, his voice elevates the material.
Oh yeah,
so much.
Yeah,
that
of course. Maybe my favorite James Earl Jones role is him just saying, "This is CNN."
This is CNN. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But gone too soon.
Gone too soon.
Earl Jones.
Gone too soon. Glad we have the footage.
Most definitely.